Koi tum kabhi pyar nahi karega. Those words echoed in Arjun's mind as he stood at the altar, looking into the eyes of Riya Malhotra, the billionaire CEO who had just become his wife. If you're wondering how a broken single father went from sleeping on a friend's couch to marrying one of India's most eligible bachelorettes, stay with me until the end. I promise, this story will change how you see love forever. If this journey touches your heart, please hit that like button and subscribe to our channel for more stories that prove destiny has a way of surprising us when we least expect it. 6 years earlier, Arjun Sharma sat on the edge of his bed, head in his hands, as his wife Pooja threw clothes into a suitcase. Their 4-year-old daughter Isha slept peacefully in the next room, unaware that her world was about to shatter. "I can't do this anymore, Arjun," Pooja said, her voice cold and distant. "This middle-class life, your struggling restaurant, your dreams that never materialize, I deserve better." Arjun looked up, his eyes red. "What about Isha? She needs her mother." Pooja zipped her suitcase with finality. "She'll be better with you. I was never meant to be a mother. Sunil can give me the life I want, travel, luxury, freedom." She paused at the door. "Face reality, Arjun. You're a failure. Tumhein koi pyar nahi karega. No one will ever love you." The door slammed, leaving Arjun in silence. That night, as he held his sleeping daughter, he made a promise: he would give Isha everything, even if it meant he would have nothing. The months that followed tested Arjun in ways he never imagined. His small restaurant in Mumbai struggled after a negative review from a prominent food critic. Bills piled up. Landlords threatened eviction. Through it all, Arjun maintained a brave face for Isha, never letting her see his tears or the meals he skipped so she could eat. "Papa, why don't we see Mummy anymore?" Isha would ask, her innocent eyes searching his face. "Sometimes, beta, people need to find their own path," he would answer, pulling her close. "But I promise I will never leave you." When the restaurant finally closed, Arjun sold everything except what they could carry in 2 suitcases. His childhood friend Vikram offered his couch until Arjun could find work. Pride shattered, dreams abandoned, Arjun accepted. "What will you do now?" Vikram asked one night after Isha had fallen asleep. Arjun stared at the ceiling. "Anything. Everything. Whatever it takes for Isha." The next morning, Arjun stood outside Sapphire Hotels, a luxury chain owned by the reclusive billionaire Riya Malhotra. They were hiring kitchen staff, and despite being overqualified, Arjun applied for a dishwasher position. The head chef, Kabir, recognized Arjun from his restaurant days. "What are you doing here? You were one of Mumbai's promising chefs." "Life happened," Arjun replied simply. "I need the job." Kabir studied him for a moment. "We don't need a dishwasher. We need a sous chef. The position is yours if you want it." That night, Arjun cried for the first time since Pooja left, tears of relief, gratitude, and a tiny spark of hope. Working at Sapphire Hotel brought stability back to Arjun and Isha's life. He rented a small apartment, enrolled Isha in a decent school, and slowly began rebuilding their world. The kitchen became his sanctuary, where his creativity flourished once again. His fusion dishes caught the attention of regular patrons, who began requesting Chef Arjun special. Unknown to Arjun, one of those regulars was Riya Malhotra herself, who often dined anonymously at her hotels to ensure quality. 35, brilliant, and fiercely private, Riya had built her empire from scratch after inheriting a single failing hotel from her father. Business magazines called her the Ice Queen for her ruthless business acumen and apparent lack of personal life. What the magazines didn't know was that Riya's coldness masked deep wounds. A childhood accident had left her with a pronounced limp and scars she carefully concealed. An early heartbreak had taught her that people only saw her wealth, not her. She had built walls so high that no one had scaled them in years. Until she tasted Arjun's food. "This dish," she said to Kabir one evening, "it tastes like home. Like memories. Who created this?" Kabir smiled. "Our new sous chef. He has quite a story." The next day, Arjun was called to meet a special guest who wanted to compliment the chef. When he entered the private dining room, he found a woman sitting alone, her back to him. "You wanted to see me?" he asked. She turned, and Arjun found himself looking into the most penetrating eyes he'd ever seen. He recognized her immediately from magazine covers and news reports. "Ms. Malhotra," he stammered. "Your biryani," she said, "has cardamom, star anise, and something else I can't identify. It reminded me of my grandmother's cooking." "Kura water," Arjun replied. "And a touch of smoke from birch wood." A ghost of a smile touched her lips. "Innovative. Tell me, Chef Arjun, why is a man with your talent working as a sous chef in my hotel?" Something in her direct gaze made Arjun tell the truth, about his failed restaurant, about Pooja leaving, about his struggle to give Isha stability. Riya listened without interruption. When he finished, she simply said, "I have a proposition for you." The proposition was unexpected. Riya wanted to launch a new restaurant concept featuring fusion cuisine that honored Indian traditions while embracing global influences. She wanted Arjun to develop the menu and serve as head chef. "Why me?" he asked, bewildered. "Because your food has soul," she answered. "And that can't be taught." The next months were a whirlwind. Arjun worked directly with Riya, developing menus, testing recipes, designing kitchen layouts. Their professional relationship was intense. Riya demanded perfection, and Arjun delivered. They argued passionately about flavors, presentations, and techniques, neither willing to compromise their vision. What neither expected was how these battles would evolve into something deeper. Riya found herself looking forward to their meetings, to the way Arjun spoke about food with reverence and passion. Arjun discovered that behind Riya's businesslike exterior was a woman with profound understanding of both food and human nature. One evening, as they worked late, Isha's babysitter called. She had fallen ill and needed to leave. Panicked, Arjun explained the situation to Riya. "Bring her here," Riya said simply. "To a business meeting? She's more important than business." When Isha arrived, sleepy and clutching her favorite stuffed elephant, Arjun expected Riya to be politely distant. Instead, she knelt despite her limp to meet Isha at eye level. "I'm Riya," she said. "Your papa has told me so much about you." Isha studied her solemnly. "Are you papa's boss?" "I'm his partner," Riya corrected, surprising even herself with the word choice. That night changed everything. As Isha fell asleep on a makeshift bed of coats in Riya's office, Arjun and Riya spoke not of business but of life. Riya revealed the car accident that had killed her parents and left her scarred at 12. Arjun shared his childhood in a small village, where his grandmother's cooking had been his first love. "She never measured anything," he said, smiling at the memory. "She cooked by feeling, by memory, by love. That's what I taste in your food," Riya said softly. "Love." Their eyes met, and something unspoken passed between them, recognition, understanding, possibility. The restaurant, named Gar Home, opened to critical acclaim. Food critics who had once panned Arjun's previous venture now praised his visionary approach. Reservations were booked months in advance. Arjun's life transformed, financial security, professional respect, and a growing friendship with Riya that defied definition. But shadows from the past weren't finished with him. 6 months after Gar's opening, Pooja reappeared. Arjun was in his office when she walked in, as elegant and beautiful as ever, but with a hardness in her eyes that hadn't been there before. "I saw you in the business section," she said without preamble. "Quite the success story." Arjun felt nothing, not anger, not love, not even resentment. Just emptiness. "What do you want, Pooja?" "I thought perhaps it's time Isha had her mother back in her life." Her smile didn't reach her eyes. Sunil and I have separated. I've been doing some thinking. Before Arjun could respond, Riya appeared in the doorway. She assessed the situation with one glance. You must be Pooja, she said, entering the room with quiet authority. I've heard about you. Pooja's eyes narrowed as she took in Riya's designer suit and confident bearing. And you are? Riya Malhotra. Arjun's business partner. The tension in the room was palpable. Pooja looked between them, calculation evident in her expression. I see, she said finally. Well, this is a family matter. Perhaps you could give us privacy. Anything you need to say to me can be said in front of Riya, Arjun stated firmly. What followed was a bitter conversation where Pooja's true intentions became clear, not reconnection with her daughter, but access to Arjun's newfound success. When she realized Arjun wouldn't be manipulated, her facade cracked. You think you're something now? You're still the same pathetic man I left. She's just using you for your cooking skills. Pooja gestured dismissively at Riya. Once she's done with you, you'll be nothing again. Riya stepped forward, her voice calm but steel-edged. I think you should leave now. After Pooja stormed out, Arjun collapsed into his chair, shaking. I'm sorry you had to witness that. Riya knelt beside him, taking his hands in hers. Never apologize for your past. It made you who you are, the man I've come to admire. The man I've come to love. The word hung between them, unexpected and transformative. Arjun looked into her eyes and saw not pity but genuine feeling. I never thought. He began. Neither did I, she whispered. I never thought I could love anyone. Until you showed me what real strength looks like. Their first kiss tasted of promise and healing, of two broken people finding wholeness in each other. Their relationship developed slowly, mindfully. Both carried scars that needed gentle handling. Riya learned to open herself to Isha, who approached her with a child's uncomplicated acceptance. Arjun learned that vulnerability wasn't weakness but courage. When Riya first met Vikram, the friend who had given Arjun shelter in his darkest days, she took him aside. Thank you, she said simply. For being there when he had no one. Vikram studied her thoughtfully. He's a good man. The best I know. I know, she replied. That's why I love him. A year after they met, Arjun took Riya to his grandmother's village. They walked through fields where he had played as a child, visited the simple kitchen where he had first learned to cook, sat under stars brighter than any city could offer. I have nothing grand to give you, he said, taking her hand. No empire, no fortune. Just my heart, my hands, my promise to stand beside you through whatever comes. Riya touched his face gently. You've given me what money could never buy, the courage to be seen, scars and all. To be loved not despite them, but with them. Their wedding was intimate, just Isha, Vikram, Kabir, and a few close friends. Isha scattered rose petals as Riya walked toward Arjun, her limp visible but her head held high. No designer gown could hide her scars, and for the first time in her adult life, she didn't try to conceal them. As they exchanged vows, Arjun thought of Pooja's parting words years ago, Tumhein koi pyar nahi karega. No one will ever love you. How wrong she had been. Love had found him not when he was successful or perfect, but when he was broken and real. After the ceremony, as guests celebrated, Arjun found Isha sitting alone, unusually quiet. What's wrong, Beta? He asked, sitting beside her. She looked up, her eyes serious. Is Riya my mother now? Arjun chose his words carefully. Riya is my wife, and she loves you very much. But she doesn't want to replace your mother. She wants to be another person in your life who cares for you. Isha considered this. I like having more people who love me. From the wisdom of children, Arjun thought. Later that night, as Riya and Arjun danced their first dance as husband and wife, she whispered, "Thank you for showing me that family isn't just what you're born into, it's what you build together." 3 years into their marriage, Gar had expanded to 5 locations across India. Arjun and Riya had established a foundation providing culinary education to underprivileged youth. Isha had blossomed into a confident 13-year-old with her father's creativity and Riya's determination. One evening, as they prepared dinner together, a family tradition no matter how busy their schedules, Arjun watched Riya patiently teaching Isha how to properly chop vegetables. The sight filled him with such overwhelming gratitude that he had to turn away to compose himself. Later, as they lay in bed, Riya asked, "What were you thinking about in the kitchen? You had such a look on your face." Arjun pulled her close. "I was thinking about journeys. How sometimes the wrong turns lead us exactly where we need to be." Riya traced the lines of his face with her fingertips. "Do you ever regret any of it? The pain, the struggle?" "Not for a moment," he answered truthfully. "It was the price of finding you. Life wasn't perfect." They argued, compromised, disappointed each other at times. Riya's workaholic tendencies sometimes resurfaced. Arjun occasionally retreated into silence when hurt. But they had learned the most important lesson, that love isn't the absence of difficulty but the commitment to face it together. When Pooja contacted Isha through social media years later, it was Riya who encouraged Arjun to allow the meeting. "She's part of Isha's story," Riya said. "We're secure enough in our family to allow that connection." Her generosity of spirit humbled him anew. On their 5th anniversary, Arjun surprised Riya with a journal. Inside, he had written their story, not the glossy version that business magazines printed, but the real one, with all its messiness and magic. On the final page, he had written, "They say there are 2 great days in a person's life, the day they are born and the day they discover why. I was born the first time on my birthday. I was born again the day I met you. You didn't just love me, you helped me remember how to love myself." Riya, the powerful businesswoman who intimidated corporate titans, wept as she read his words. "We're quite the unlikely pair, aren't we?" she said through tears. "The limping billionaire and the broken chef." Arjun kissed her softly. "Not broken. Just waiting to be made whole." As our story comes to its end, Arjun stands at the window of their home, watching Riya and Isha in the garden below. They're planting herbs for the kitchen, laughing as they dig in the earth. The sight fills him with a peace he never thought possible in those dark days on Vikram's couch. Sometimes life's greatest gifts come disguised as its greatest sorrows. Sometimes the words meant to destroy us, Tumhein koi pyar nahi karega, become the very ones we disprove with every breath, every choice, every day we choose to believe in love's possibility. If